BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200K. When the game's over, head over to our online casino for blackjack, poker, or one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
What's happening? What it do? What is the dealie? Yo, welcome back to Tiger Talk TV. This is Band Sessions with the Boom. You got your boy, Terrell Key, aka T Reezy.
You got your girl Danielle, aka Don Yeezy.
And you got your boy Toby Johnson at Furious Styles.
Yo, so check it out. If you have not liked and followed our new channel, we have a new channel. It's called Tiger Talk TV. Yep. Go ahead and make sure you do that. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and definitely click the bell because it all helps the cause. That's the I love. That's right. And we're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcast. We are back once again. Toby, Danielle, what up, doe?
What up, doe?
What up, doe?
Hey man, I'm listen, we're back again. They keep letting us come back. That means something is going right.
Man.
I don't know what it is that's going right, but it's something going right. Maybe we got great guests on. We having some great content. We having some great conversations. I don't know. They keep letting us back. I mean, hey I'm glad.
Hey, yo, this has been like 18 months of us doing this.
That's crazy.
18 months?
Yes. I don't know what number episode this is, but like this is crazy. 18 months, like
20 something.
Yeah,
it's 20 something.
And we just dived in.
We dived in. We've got to the point to where I'm starting to forget who we've all had on. That's terrible. Is that terrible? It happens. It happens. I'm not. I have enough. I'm joking.
It's been almost 30. It's been almost 30 guests though.
It's almost 30. That's a lot of guests. And we've had a lot of conversations, and it's just been great stuff, man. Just great.
I can't think of one episode that wasn't fun.
No, not at all. Never. We don't have unfun episodes. This is not an unfun territory. This is a fun territory.
It's the whole purpose of us doing this was to have some fun.
That's what we do. We here. We gonna make it do what it do.
And so thinking of that, I got a question.
You do?
I do.
And you know what? We don't even know what the question. We don't. All right.
I mean, y'all just helped me come up with the question when what we were just talking about. What we were just talking
For real? Just now?
Yeah. So like recently, just work wise, me and I journal. And I've been trying to, with this whole climate of the world right now, I've been trying to focus on what brings me joy in life. And I see you guys on social media. I see you guys doing certain things and hobbies and things like that. Like, what do you do to bring yourself back to center and it brings you joy in your life right now? Or what are those things that bring you joy to your life right now?
For me, it would be getting outdoors, going out in nature, parks, trails, hiking trails, the Chattahoochee River. Just going outside and getting fresh air, being out in the elements.
Getting in touch with earth.
Yeah.
And I see you walking your dog. That's beautiful.
Old Carbon.
Trying to, get them used to different environments,
Yeah.
We need to get Carbon on the show.
Oh, we can get Carbon on the show.
Carbon's been on the show.
Yeah, I've heard Carbon on the show. Everybody's heard Carbon.
Oh, okay, Carbon. What brings me joy right now? I would say my top thing. I have a number of things, but what brings me joy right now is skating.
Yeah.
Going to the skating rink. Skating is something that we grew up doing in Jackson, Mississippi, but we would go to either Fun Time Skating Rink in
Lakeland
Clinton,
skating.
or we would
Lakeland.
go to Lakeland. We would go to I forgot the name of the one,
What's
Lakeland Skating Center.
Lakeland Skating Center? Stank
Right,
Rank.
right. But the crazy thing about skating though is we used to just skate. Like I'm talking like middle school, elementary, middle school, high school. We used to just skate, meaning like we just roll around in circles
Mhm.
just for hours and hours and hours. But I don't recall like the whole the jam skating and the rhythm skating where you're dancing, actually dancing on the skates, and you're doing tricks and turns and
Mhm.
splits and rolling on one wheel and two
Yeah.
wheels and on the side. So that's something that I've gotten more into. Like I've always skated, but I've never like danced on skate. So that's like a whole groove where
Yeah.
you kind of just moving instead of just
Mhm.
so that's something that brings me joy. It's an exercise, it's a stress relief, it's it's fun to me. That's my
Mhm.
most recent right now in the right
Mhm.
now moment thing is, I would say, skating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toby, what's yours?
Oh man, like I like getting out in nature. Um, Walking the dog it has been one for a while. Just my dog and I, we'll walk maybe 3, 4, 5 miles, every night, and with music or sometimes without
Wow.
music. But what's my thing, and it's outside, is nature. We live probably 15 minutes away from our nearest beach in Florida. It's probably about 15 minutes
Yeah,
away.
you always are at the
I'm
beach.
always at the beach, like,
On a
and it
Tuesday
doesn't have to
morning.
be on a Tuesday morning. Yeah, like
Right.
if I can figure out a time, like I'm headed there. If I'm leaving work, I'm like, you know what, I can squeeze in 30 minutes at the beach, because usually to me the beach was a thing. It was like something that is an all day event. You sit up shop and stuff. No, I just travel in my truck I have a beach towel, a chair, and I'll just go out there and sit. Sometimes I walk. Sometimes I sit crisscross applesauce and just, I don't know how to meditate, but I pretend like I'm meditating, but it
Mm-hmm.
works. So like, and just sit out there and just smell the salt water, and just be one with the earth. I know it sounds cheesy, but I love it. I love it.
That's not cheesy.
Okay.
That's
No.
not cheesy at all.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. So beach. We went to over the summer. So the kids have been my kids have been asking about going to the beach.
Mhm.
Can we go to the beach? We're gonna go to the beach because we've taken them a few times. So they wanted to go to the beach. So we took them to the beach. We went to Orange Beach, Alabama
Mhm.
/ Perdido Key, Florida. It's right
Beautiful
there,
beach.
Floribama, all that kind of thing.
Mhm.
So we went outside to the beach, and one of the things that I find interesting about the beach is when you're standing on the sand and you're looking at the water, and you're looking as far as your eyes can see, and all you see is a line
Mhm.
way, we talking miles away as far as your
Mhm.
eyes can see, and you don't see anything else but the tip, like the line of
Yeah.
where there's a whole nother country, there's a whole nother island, there's another piece of land on
A
that,
whole bunch of more water.
more water, like
Mm-hmm. On
it's
the
like
other
it's
side of that water.
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
water. That's good.
Water on the other
More on the
side of
side of
that.
the water. That's funny. So I find that fascinating, and it's
Mhm.
like you just kind of just looking. Then if you stand on the beach in a condo, hotel, whatever, if you stand like on the whatever floor, the 29th floor, and you're high up, and it's the same thing, you
Mhm.
still see a line of water
Can I tell
on
you?
the other side of the water. That's cool to me.
All and then we have several beaches around here, and I try them all, but like all bitches beat. Did I cuss?
We
They are not the
you
same
good.
either. All beaches
That's
are
cool.
not the
That's
same.
cool. That's cool. Beaches. Yeah.
All beaches
That's really, yeah. Go ahead.
are not the
Yeah, the
same,
same.
because
Okay.
we traveled. We took the kids to San Diego, and we had a condo off the beach. Um, and you know, beaches with mountains. That's funny to me. But beaches with mountains was more different. It was a pleasant surprise to see and to deal with that.
Mhm.
You know,
Interesting. I
Yeah.
like that. Okay,
So,
come on, then. I got a question. What
it's
brings
a
you joy?
little different. What brings you
little
joy,
different.
guys? Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comment. What brings you
For
joy,
real, we
like
like
right
that.
now, in
We
the
love it.
now.
We
Yeah.
love it when you participate in the comments. I go back and I
We do.
read and I see it, and it brings me joy too. This podcast brings me joy.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Great
Also,
answer.
it does right. Great answer. Clap it up, Steve
Clap it
Harvey
up.
vibes.
Podcast
Yes,
brings me joy.
the podcast.
Y'all
brings
should
joy.
be able to see it in all our faces. It brings us joy.
It brings us joy.
Mhm.
Put it in the comment. What
Put it in the
brings you
comments.
joy right now in this moment? All right, guys. It's time. We are back again. We are about to bring on our next special guest because what?
All of our guests are special.
All our guests are special. All right, ladies and gentlemen, pom poms are shaking. The boom has crunk up. The bass drum is booming. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our next special guest is Miss Nikela Gates. Woo! So wait. I was hoping to see how do you do it? Let's see. Hold on. Is that right? That's not right. That's not right.
I mean, that's good for you though.
Let's
The
get it
salt
work
and
for me.
Hey,
pepper. The salt and pepper.
look at that.
Hey,
Cool.
I
A
tried.
for effort. A for effort.
A for effort. That's what I'm talking about. Ladies and
Oh.
gentlemen, we got Miss Nikela Gates on. Nikela, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am doing well. I am so excited to be here. So thank you all. Very grateful.
You are
Thank you.
so very welcome.
Absolutely.
Yes. We got another J set on here, because we gotta represent. We gotta represent for everybody, from the banner carrier to the piccolo. Everybody involved. Even we get everybody on. We're gonna talk about. We're
We'll
gonna
get
get
a
right
band
into it.
manager on this joint.
Well, we're gonna get band managers on. We haven't got there yet, but that's coming. But we got Nikela Gates on. Nikela, we finna get right into it. We just gonna have a good time, have some fun, and do what we does. You know what I'm saying?
Nikela, I got 2 questions for you. The first
Two
one,
questions.
I want to say thank you for coming onto the show. Thank you for coming on the platform. The first question, tell us what brings you joy right now?
Listen, that's a perfect question for me because I've been working on finding so much balance, but I still do all the things. So I really have two answers, and one is yoga. I teach yoga and I am a student of yoga, and from meditation to moving meditation, you may not think you're doing meditation, but you are, because you are taking the time to pause, you're reflecting, you're in your thoughts, and you're giving it like that attention. So right now, I get to teach yoga at Lifetime Gym in Westlake, Texas, and pure joy there. So
Shout out to
that's,
Westlake Tiffin.
listen, I'm living in Fort Worth, but I teach it there in Westlake. Pure joy, and you can see the smile and hear it in my voice while I'm teaching. And the other thing really is, this is going to sound so cliche, but when I get to come to homecoming, I spend a week every single year in home with my dad and my family. And then my family that has moved to Texas, they come back. So I get this whole week to feel like a college student. Like I don't even wash my own clothes, y'all. Like I get to feel like I'm at home for a week. I get to be spoiled. And then to top it off, I get to the yard. I get to see y'all, whether we are performing or not. I get to game day. And people may not realize I see y'all because I may not sit next to y'all, but I am watching y'all and just the atmosphere. And so that my job knows every single year I have that week off. So pure joy.
That's awesome.
I love
awesome.
that.
I love
I've
it.
not heard that before. I've never
Pure joy.
known. I don't know anybody that has taken a week off, like a week.
I'm there every week. I tell everybody, and I try to see as many people I've been doing this now. Gosh, we may be going on well over a decade. So that I've been doing this a whole week.
What?
Yeah.
A
Whole week.
whole week? We need to try that. I might need. You know what? That ain't a bad
Right.
idea because there's a whole bunch of stuff that's going on during the week. Do you want to be involved instead of just Friday, Saturday, and then leaving Sunday? But that makes sense.
But see, Nikela's going home and being spoiled and doing all of the things that she could do when she was in college. She's not just partying. It's just being spoiled.
Yeah,
I like this spoiled.
I like the idea. I mean, because that's home,
right?
Like, Mississippi home for me too. Like, my mom would
That's
wash my underwear.
See,
Just throw them in the dirty clothes basket.
Fold them and everything.
Wake up to some scrambled eggs and some grits and stuff. Like shoot, I get it. I can do Mama Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday like just disappear.
Look at the plan.
That's it.
Gone.
Right.
That's it.
I like that.
I'm putting in right now.
Put that in right now.
Perfect plan.
Takes mama right now. Hey, mama.
Get permission. Get permission.
I gotta get permission.
You got 2 months. You got about 2 months to do that. You got time.
And the yoga, like namaste. Like I see you.
Namaste.
Come on, now, down with dog.
Down with dog.
Come on, down with dog.
So
the crouching tiger, you know.
y'all are silly.
We are.
Tell us your boom story. Like, how did you
let's
come
get
familiar
into
with
it.
the Sonic Boom of the South? And like, tell us like your beginning, middle, and your ending.
Yeah. So y'all, this is full circle, and I'll tell you why. So my family, I'm from Jackson, Mississippi, but my dad's side of the family is from Carthage and Philadelphia, Mississippi. So what we call the country. So if you're from Mississippi, then that's what we called it. And we would go home this particular weekend in August. We used to go home. So it was always like the first, I think like first or second weekend of August. My aunt texted me today to remind me of this, but I already was thinking of this. We would go back, what we call homecoming in Carthage, Mississippi. And there's a spot called The Hill. And everybody would just come and you would just dance and eat. And that's where we all realized I could dance. I don't know how old I was, but I just remember I still have a picture of the outfit. And I heard the music and I just danced. And I danced like till I had a headache. Like I would go eat, drink, and come back elementary school. And every year I would just do that and just dance and just go. So I joined the Jackson Stepperettes. At that time, it was ran by Miss Hartwell and Cornell. Jackson Stepperettes in elementary school. And we would go hard. Like we had to know the foundation. We're dressed to the T, like back then it's t-shirts, shorts, and kids. We didn't have all these like fancy uniforms, but I learned the foundation of dance. And we practiced hard, so hard that my parents, I said, I can't do it anymore. And they asked me, are you sure? Because they're like, there's no in and out. And I said, yeah, I got to give it up. I made some great friends, even met some now alumni XXX, but I thought it's just too hard. I'm gonna quit. Now we go into that's elementary. We go into middle school, and I want to try out for the drill team there, but just eating young, I put on like a lot of weight. And my 7th grade year back then, Sywell Middle School, you had to wait until your 8th grade year to be on the drill team. Well, my 7th grade year, I see the sponsor at the time. And I told her, I said, I want to be on your drill team. And she laughed. She literally laughed at me. And I was like, that's kind of strange.
Was
and
she
I
a
was like,
teacher at your school?
She was a teacher. Her name was Miss Travis, Sharon Travis. And it wasn't rude. It was more like, oh, well, baby, that's cute. I'll see you. Yeah. If you saw a picture of me then, you would understand why. That summer, my mom told me, she said, I didn't tell you this. She said, but when you quit the Stepperettes, they told me that they were going to make you captain, but you quit. And that stuck. Like when I say that stuck with me, I was like, wow, I quit. So that summer, I lost weight because I'm like, I got to be on this drill team because now I'm trying to get back to dance. When I go back to that same sponsor that laughed at me, she didn't recognize me, different person. I make the drill team, no problem. I'm on the drill team, and there's this lady that would come and work with us, none other than Nara Otis in middle school would come and work with us. And so I'm getting to know Miss Otis, and they tell me that she's over the Prince and XXX. I grew up watching them. We're going to football games since I can remember. And I'm like, wow, this is her. And she tells my mom, she has something. Like, You need to make her keep going. She has something. And so then they picked co-captains. It had to be two of us, and it was me and another young lady. And my mom said, she asked Miss Otis, what made you pick her? And she said, she has it. She just needs to make sure that she keeps tapping into herself and her leadership, and she's good. I do well, love it, enjoy it. Had to play the clarinet because that was the only thing I could pick for the elective. So we literally play the clarinet and then go dance at Sowell Middle School. So then we go into Jim Hill. I went to Jim Hill High School, wasn't supposed to go there, but all I knew was I had 4 years to make it to be a JSET. So by this time, I'm starting to really do my homework and how do I get to the boom? How do I get there? And I said, what high school can I go to? And people were telling me, I'm like, I'm supposed to go to Forest Hill. I'm not going to make it. I'm like shooting down ideas. And somebody said, have you heard of Jim Hill? And I'm like, yeah, but no. And, people, that's a school by the graveyard and all this. And I'm like, they say they have a drill team. And I looked at that drill team and I was like, I'm going there. I went there, IB program, International Baccalaureate. So people probably don't realize, like, I've always been very into my academics too. Go there, make the drill team. Charles Bradley is the band director. Nona Gordon is my sponsor. Strict. Sophomore year, I'm like, I want to do this captain thing. Like, what do I have to do? So junior year, me and another former alumni JSET, Alicia Partee, we are selected as co-captain. It's about maybe 17 of us. Alicia graduates early, and my senior year, I'm captain by myself, about 25 young ladies. 25, high school. I mean, we're going to get it done. I'm learning like, hey, I'm supposed to be the best. I'm having a great time. So I'm like, okay, I've done all my homework. Not you all, but at the time, it switches from Nara Otis to Catherine Worthy. I hear these stories like this lady is real tough. Okay. So I got to make it, right? I'm looking at these JSETs and I'm like, oh, I don't know, because there's been a shift from how they look with Miss Worthy's touch on them. I go to tryouts, open tryouts, right? Y'all may or may not have been there. Public display, body cuts and everything. And I don't make it past body cuts. I don't make it. Really? There's a second tryout. Yeah. Second tryout in the summer. Body cut. I don't make it. Third tryout, because Aquita Patillo, who was my captain, was away, and they needed to host a tryout for her to get on the squad. Aquita Patillo and I make that tryout. And from there, the rest is history. People don't realize it took me 3 times to make that squad.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that too.
When I made that squad, Miss Worthy was not like, yay. And she and I could laugh and talk about this.
What?
She was not like, yes, come on in. Body cut. I tell people that body cut, yeah, I was catching it. So that's my boom story. But I always knew that I would be a JSET. I was not going to be denied. I already knew that. So.
Hey, if I booed you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Let me tell y'all.
I'm sorry.
Y'all built a lot of thick skin over here. I don't know individuals. Oh my God. Listen, I tell people I can laugh about this. Booed. I got talked about from the size of my feet. Everything you could think of was like
what? Feet?
Listen,
they said about your feet.
You know,
it was students. It was young. Same thing. Listen,
they were weird. They were weird. They're looking at your feet.
At my feet, I was like,
they're weird.
But listen, I still think that's easier than social media, so I'll take that any day.
Yeah.
Any day. But no, it was fun.
I'll take it any day, man. Wow.
Yeah.
So once you made it on the squad, right? How was your experience? Like, what was that like? Like becoming a JSET, like what you always imagined, in middle school, high school. Like, what was that like when you actually made the squad?
Yeah, that was life changing. Like to the point where I would talk about JSETs in my job interviews, because that really built like a different level of womanhood for me. So I make the squad, right? And y'all, Miss Worthy caught me in the bathroom afterwards, and she was like, "You're gonna have to lose some weight to make these body cuts." And it wasn't a rude thing; it was a reality. You all have said this on your show. I always respected the position, so I always knew that she had a vision. I walked out of that restroom and I went to my mom and I said, I'm crying at this point. I'm like, she doesn't like me. And my mom said, do you want to be a J set? And I was like, yes. She was like, do you want to dance for her? Yes. She was like, okay. So what you got to do? I was like, I got to lose some weight. So from there, I go to band camp and it is brutal for me because they're dancing faster. Although I grew up watching the style, I knew that I had to strip everything that I knew. So I came from being a captain. I had to recreate like very humble experience. And then I got I'm coming on the line with some girls that's like killing it. I got girls that came in with me that's killing it. And I'm not making it. So band camp was really hard. As I said, I'm not a brat, y'all. I'm not a brat. But I've always been like spoiled by my family so that no one has ever had to fuss at me. You didn't have to yell at me. Like I can count how many times I got fussed at. And I'm here and there's no softness. We're not babying you.
Mhm.
And I'm under the direction of Dr. Liddell too. There's no babying me. So it made me grow up real fast on what do I want. I'm not making it. I'm not making cuts my freshman year. Like on the field, I'm getting cut. As we used to say, I'm carrying the black bag to get to this field. But I realized, what can I do? What am I strong at? And I was good in the stands. So a couple of games, I just made it for the stands. I did not make it for the field. I needed that reality check. Like I needed that to see because that taught me a life lesson. If you're not, you can go from being the best, but when you ask to level up and I asked to level up, what does it take? So that also helped me to learn like my body. I was thicker than them. If you put me in certain colors or certain uniforms, my thighs, they're naturally thick. And I'm not the person that's going to be like, well, I'm just thick. Okay, so what do I trim? What do I do? What works for me? So people don't look at it like that from behind the scenes, but like it really taught me to learn who I am, to learn when I want something, how do I get it? It wasn't easy, but if I find these obstacles, whether that's people or I'm not making the field, what do I have to do? And it made me love, and this may sound weird, it made me love the program and Miss Worthy and the whole like just the boom, the aspect, even being around y'all, it made me love it like that much more because there was nowhere to hide. Again, nobody's babying me.
So like I want to. You said a lot in the past.
Yeah.
Like a shout out to Alicia Partey.
Partey.
Partey. Shout out Alicia. I remember her. But like no, y'all. I guess my question, because like going into Jackson State, because there was some similarities there. Because when I got into Jackson State, it was some. I have never been around that many talented people in my life. So there are some natural insecurities that are exposed because it's like, oh, you coming from, I came from a small town. You from Jim Hill. You're used to being the best around the people that you are. But then when you get to Jackson State and you step on campus, you're like, oh, I'm not like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I would like to do that. And how is he or she doing this so easily, you know? But then when your insecurities are exposed, and when I talk to people and I was like, oh yeah, I marched in the boom, and oh, I had to go through this X, Y, and Z. They're like, why would you go through all that to play a drum? You know, what was it in you that made you go through all of this torment? You know, 3 tryouts. You know, stepping into a room and you like, you know what, I might not be the most talented person in this room anymore. The words, because I mean, as truthful as that may have been at the time, because right now what people said as far as like body positivity, they can't get away with that right now. Going through that torment, going through the insecurities, what pushed you through it? Like, I don't know. I don't want to give you any insight of like how you were raised, or like what your mama said, your daddy said, and all that type of stuff. Because my mom was the same. She was like if you want to be in there, you got to go through it. If not, but it's a different generation of kids right now. We're not talking to them like that. Like, no, that's not for you, baby. What pushed you through that?
Yeah, that's let me say I always knew that I was never the most technical. And I love that. So in some people's eyes, and including mine, I was an underdog. Loved it. Loved it. Because I knew that I had to go inward. And this has just always been in me. I wish I could tell somebody other than my family, super supportive of me and very much so pouring into me with the words. But I always knew I'm not a competitive person where I'm competing against you. But I always knew that I needed to know what was my best, because my parents told me if you're the janitor, you better be the best janitor you could be. So I didn't have a choice. So if I'm going to be a J set, I got to be the best J set that I'm going to be. Notice I didn't say I got to outbook her. So I needed to know, where could I dig? Where do I dig deep? And that pushed me, so that I'm noticing, Miss Worthy, you right. I'm slower than them. I got to dig. I got to go harder. I didn't make this cut. I didn't make the cuts on the field for half of the games. But I'm watching, I'm pushing. I couldn't run. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Natalie. Natalie would like let me know I couldn't run. I'm like, Natalie, I see I'm walking. Like, we can laugh about this now. But it's like the push,
Natalie Young.
Shout out Natalie.
I love
AKLS.
Love Natalie. Love her. I wanted to throw her watch away because she would watch the time, but I love Natalie.
Natalie crazy.
But it's where do you go? What do you want? So that I knew what I wanted to accomplish. I knew that I wanted to dance in the stands. Okay, now how do you push? And it may be torment for others, and I can only speak for myself. I still do this to this day. I push myself to know, because the world is going to push me, right? The world literally is going to push us. Yeah. Before I let you push my buttons, how far can I go so that I know what's my limit? And I remember not making those field cuts to the point where one day I said, and this sounds so crazy, y'all, but I said, what's the worst that could happen? I run out of breath and I pass out. I don't know. So let's see. I just started going. Repeat to the point where I got it. And when I say I got it, I started making the field. My freshman year, I still would like have these little pockets, but that sophomore year, making cuts first round, I'm running no problem, because what's your limit? I operate like that to this day.
Right, come on.
Write that down, Toby. Write that down. That's a lesson. That's gonna preach.
She got so many quotes in here. Like,
you got a lot.
I ain't trying to outbuck you.
I really don't. I don't have time.
Don't say that to Mars, and a hater. I ain't trying to outbuck you. I know what I'm talking about.
If you could put this in band terms, if everybody played to the absolute max of their ability, what does that band sound like? If you didn't worry about who's next to you, but you played to the max of your ability, you not slacking or nothing. That's your competition right there. It's you.
It's yourself.
You on here preaching. Come on, Pastor. Pastor Gates. We're the collection plate. It's Pastor Gates. It's not time for the collection plate.
Man, I'm about to fly to forward just to take her yoga class, man. Like, if
one week.
Come on.
Terms. 1 week. We just.
I didn't know this yoga thing. I love that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So Nikela. Before I'm all the way away from my questions and what I have to ask, but what you're doing right now in this very second, in this very moment, you are helping somebody that is or was or has been going through something that they were unsure about, or that they did not get. They didn't have the actual self-motivation to keep pushing. You had the self-motivation. So Toby asked the question, where did they come from? That was within you. Like that was instilled in you somewhere along the world, along the lines, or along the way. You were like, you know what? Okay, cool. Let me go and try to let me go back into the lab, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. and I'm gonna run. You went from I can't run to okay,
Seriously.
now I can run. Like that's motivation for somebody. Like somebody in the comments gonna say, you know what, I remember that. I needed that. So
Mhm.
I can appreciate that. Just that part. That's that part
Mhm.
right there. Because we all go through things in life to where it's like, man, it gets tough. Like, what am I gonna do next? Like, I don't know. Like, okay, I ran out of gas. Do I go get a gas can? Do I call roadside assistance? Do I call AAA? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get out and go find me a gas can and get some gas and walk to the car, put the gas in there and drive on. So it's like you figure out in your mind what to do. You figured it out, and it's crazy. This greatness. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Like I just don't think a lot of people realize that. I almost wish I would know, because when I say this, I'm so humble to the point where I never felt like people were watching me. I never felt like people were watching me. I don't feel like people picked me as the captain or anything, but I just always knew what I wanted. And I didn't tell people when I got there, like, hey, I'm gonna be the captain. I always felt like people had other people picked for it, which I agree with it, because again, freshman year, I didn't come out of the gate like hitting the field and just on it. But when I did show up, that was my whole thing, was when I did show up. So every year it got better. To my sophomore year, I could move back to that tail position. And anybody know anything about the dance, if you're not at the front, you want to be in the back, or you want to be sitting on the ends in the stands, like whatever role you want. So I got moved to the tail position my sophomore year. And then when I got captain, I think that caught a lot of people off guard. And I don't know if anybody thought I was shocked by it, but I wasn't, because I knew what I wanted. Now, if I did not get it, man, I was still going to stay on that squad. I danced all 4 years because I always respected Miss Worthy and her vision for it. And I was thinking about this the other day. I've never pushed back on Miss Worthy for anything. Never. So I appreciate that she trusted me. And then like once I made the squad too, that like she was able to watch my journey, because I didn't know how I was gonna get there, but I knew where I was headed.
Nikela, was that a thing, pushing back Miss Worthy?
It can be. It can be. And let me tell you, it's a thing where, and I love this part of it. And I think about these students now. College is amazing, right? You've left home and you're in this sweet spot where you're an adult, but not really.
Yeah.
So you may, a lot of times you think you're grown, but not really. Like they see the bigger picture of it. And so you get to make these mistakes. Miss Worthy, I'm so serious when I say this. Miss Worthy is one of my first adult friendships. It's weird to think of it that way, but she was one of my first adult friendships because I built this other relationship with her as captain. But your freshman year, yeah, it's easy to push back on her. And then not just well, let me take that back. Freshman year may not be as easy, but you do have some freshmen to push back. And then from there, it's easier to push back as you start to feel yourself and then hear the sidelines. Because let me tell you, people, the crowd, your fans will have you thinking, you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that and go do this and do that. Not if you're under the direction of somebody and they tell you what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Or if she said back then, I don't know how they do cuts now. Like there was no recording. So she's going by telling you how you look. So some people like, well, I know I did this. How do you know? We didn't have mirrors. People probably thought we danced with mirrors. Back then, we were dancing TBLs out on the other side of those bleachers where you're just, there's no mirrors. I never danced a whole season and I had a mirror to look at myself. So who's my mirror? Miss Worthy. Or if she had us like watching each other. So yeah, it's easy to push back on her, even with body cuts. And I understand with the body positivity. So I hope I'm not making anyone feel bad or wrong. But this is what my opinion on that is, when there is a look and that is the look that they are going for, either I need to match that look or I need to go find somewhere else to go. And a couple of people told me when I didn't make the first cut, why don't you go over to Alcorn? Alcorn is a whole nother squad. That's not my thing. I knew where I was headed. So yes, it's easy to push back on Miss Worthy if you choose to do so. But I love me some Miss Worthy. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah. I just know, like, we are part of a different generation. So, you know, if Dr. Liddell said it was okay. I might not like it, but we gonna do it. Or, you know, if Magruder said it, I might not like it, but we're gonna do it. Same thing with Bottega. So a lot of us didn't push back because we didn't know that was a thing that you could do, you know, and you know, raising families like we were like, I'm gonna support you, but you got to fall in line as well. Yeah, I know with these newer generations, of falling in line is not necessarily a thing, so they're gonna push back and they're gonna ask those questions. So, like, I just wondered back then, was it a thing to be able to push back?
Couple of personalities, I'll say that. And I really do look at it like individuals, right? And some individuals did choose to push back. But Miss Worthy, I've not heard her while she's with, I've never heard her yell or raise her voice, but she knew how to give us that Felicia Rashad look. So either you got to look or like
That's
you didn't
crazy.
get the smile, like you just knew. And she would be very honest and direct with you and tell you. Now you may not like it, but she had a way of letting you know. So yeah, every now and then you had some people that may want to, well, Miss Worthy, I didn't do this or that. And Miss Worthy had film. Let me say that, especially from the games. We had that TV that rolled out. Let's run that tape. Stop right there. You see that right there? And, I think it was Curtis Luckett that said how you can't argue with film. So
Come on, Kurt.
VHS tape.
Yep.
Play and hit pause and rewind that thing. We're gonna stop it right there, slow.
Right there. She said, now look at that right there. And you just be like,
Felicia Rashad talking to Vanessa.
You had big fun.
You had big fun.
Big fun.
Chug-a-lug.
That is a very good. That's a very good comparison right there.
It's always
perfect.
Vanessa.
It's always Vanessa.
Always
y'all,
Vanessa.
Y'all were the Vanessas.
we had some Vanessas. The whole squad was not Vanessa. Every year you're gonna get one or two Vanessas.
One or two Vanessas. That's so funny.
Every year. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That's so funny. Okay, I got an interesting question, maybe.
Yeah.
What's like a misconception about being a J-Set?
Oh man, I think it's a lot of misconceptions. I think people think that we had it very like it's glamorous behind the scenes.
It is.
And
It's gotta be. It is. It's glamorous. It's not.
In your mind, it is.
Mind.
Listen, if you don't want to hear that it's not glamorous, close your ears right now. Don't stop watching this podcast. Just close your ears.
Give it to us.
It is not glamorous behind the scenes. They have gotten so much better. But if I could tell people what we were doing back then, a lot of times we had nowhere to change clothes. I have sat on the bus many a days and changed clothes next to a band member to the point where one day one guy said, "What? Like you just changed right here?" Had to get creative. Had to learn how to do it. Like I didn't have anywhere to go because a lot of times we just didn't have dressing rooms when we went somewhere. So trust me, I'm not flashing somebody, but you learn how with your cape and you get creative. You learn how to do it all because all I know is I have to be off this bus because Catherine Worthy or Kathy and Louis Liddell, Doc said, I got to be off this bus at this time. What you want me to do? Halftime at Memorial Stadium. Thank you that these young ladies now have an actual dressing room for the J-Sets. I don't even know if do y'all know what we used to change to get ready?
I don't know. I never knew.
It was a bathroom, like a locker room under the visitor side.
If we went to another stadium, but at the Vet, we changed in the football team's locker room.
I never knew that.
That was
the football team.
I thought it was a restroom back there.
I'm going to need for you to run through your Rolodex and imagine how that smells.
Potpourri, maybe Glade or Glad.
Like a jasmine incense.
Yeah. Bath and Body Works.
Victoria's
Secret. No?
Don't you wish? Because I wish.
It smell like Kamisha.
Was that CJ lotion she's it didn't smell great. Come on.
It
Y'all
smelled
were
like
in
football players. That's
y'all
what
were
it
in the
smelled
football
like.
players' locker room
We went
changing.
to the people thought we went somewhere, and I think they thought we had a dressing room. And so imagine this: where are the mirrors? Where's the mirror?
Nowhere. No mirror.
Where is the ladies' room with the toilet tissue?
There was none.
We had toilet tissue in that black bag.
So you mean so okay, so hold
Yo,
on. So like when y'all would disappear, because when keep in mind we in the stands, we playing, we getting ready to go on the field.
second
Y'all would
quarter.
disappear
Second quarter.
second quarter, and y'all come back with a new uniform. You mean I never even thought, hey, I wonder where the JCS are going. Y'all just came back in different uniform. You mean to tell me y'all made y'all way to the football locker room to change clothes while the players were on the wait a minute. Was it
That's
during
it.
halftime? Was it during
That
halftime?
so we had to go in before they came for halftime.
That's
So
what I said.
again, we had to leave when Doc and Miss Worthy said we could leave, but then you got to be out by a certain time because the players about to run it in and they are not waiting on you.
Mhm.
So that's
Come
the
on.
change to get out on the field. So yes, we've had to come out there on the field. So once we get out here on the field and we do halftime, the players have come back out, right? Well, now they have played 2 quarters.
They
And
smelling
they just
great.
came in their locker room.
Smelling wonderful.
Yes,
Yeah.
smelling all types of smells. And
Oh
you
my
taking
goodness.
pictures, and then you got to get back in the stands because guess what? Doc is ready to run this show. We ready to dance. Plus, you just trying to hurry up and get out. And so you
Never knew
go
that.
into the football. That's where we went. But yes, if we were at an away game, we're in a public restroom with the people. Like you don't really have anywhere to go. But the football team's locker room is where we used to change. They have a dressing room now. Thank God.
I'm
What
so
was your
glad you
crab year?
said that. Yeah, right. Yeah.
2000. So 2000
Mhm.
to 2004, I came in Aquita Patillo right after Afreshana left, Afreshana Butler. Aquita Patillo was my captain. So
Shout
Tammy
out to
Miles, yes, Tammy Miles and I started together, and we finished leading the Boom and the J sets together.
yeah,
Wow.
Tammy.
That is crazy.
And
Oh,
We
she's
had
my
Tammy on.
line sister.
Come on, Tammy. All right.
good.
Wow.
I didn't even put the connection
I
together.
didn't either. It didn't. So that's good. I'm glad you said it. Good question, Toby. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we talking. All right.
That's why you got me here, man.
Here's something real quick, and we're gonna shift a little bit. I'm still tripping on this changing this locker room. That's
It's
processing
stinking
in
there. I
my
smell
brain.
it right now. It don't even put
Like
it.
that's oh my gosh.
I
Y'all in there
can't
with y'all.
describe the smell, but I remember it. I cannot erase that smell.
I just described it. Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, potpourri, incense, air fresheners, the trees that hang in the rearview mirrors. No, right now. All right, so I want to shift a little bit, just a little bit, not too
Sure.
much. All right, you said you
Fabuloso.
came in at right, you got gain and tide. So 2004. All right,
Mhm.
the internet, the digital world, social media kind of got hot around 2001, 2002, 2003 and on, right? So we had Chloe on some
Yeah.
time ago, and Chloe kind of put us up on how social media is so brutal, or has been, or was, or probably still is, even worse now, so brutal on the J sets. So did you ever encounter, or did your squad ever encounter, even when you were captain, did you guys ever encounter what would be considered the brutal, like the fans talking the yeah, get your knees up, your hair too long, your hair too short, why your eyelash, you know, did you ever encounter the brutal like that? That's like the misconception. Like that could be a misconception. Part B to Danielle's question. Like what were the things that you endured? When it
Mhm.
comes to like the fans and the stands and the world and the
Yeah.
people.
So my answer is going to be totally different because of my approach. My parents filmed me, and to show y'all how calculated I was, my mom would sit close and my dad would sit far away so that I had two different angles. This was me.
Come on,
This
camcorder.
was me wanting the angles because I knew that I critiqued myself so hard. I know that's not, some people would not appreciate that, but that was what I wanted for myself because we talked about how was I going to get better. Back then, I knew that people were recording my freshman and sophomore year, but again, I'm not up on, and we're not really hearing about YouTube. If anything, we really enjoyed, or we really took the critique from you all, or because a lot of times the band members, or as you all would say, and what we said too, what got house. That was our critique meter. And then Miss Worthy would record and we would have to watch the film, or if we didn't watch the film, she would watch it so that she could determine who had mistakes and who's going to get to run laps. So now, y'all, laps.
Come on,
So
laps.
then you go, we're not really dealing with it, but you can hear the crowd. So back then your thing was you wanted to hear people yell your name or tell you to come on or whatever. And you could hear people, like you said, hey, get your knees up or whatever they would yell. And let me say some band heads, some old heads like that. That
they said some stuff.
Oh man. So I think we just had a different level of, I'll say, layer of skin going out there because we didn't have to have it where it's written, where people are commenting around the world, but we caught it. So once I got announced captain, I knew that my goal was we would never look tired. That was my goal. We never gonna look tired. Let me just say, I pushed some people out of their comfort zones. I get it. I pushed myself out of my comfort zone. But that was my goal, was that we were never going to look tired, to the point where at the end of the parade, that parade today is nothing compared to the parade that we did homecoming. And I think y'all may agree with that. Back then, our homecoming parade was a lot longer. And my goal, you remember that parade was a lot longer.
Yeah.
I didn't tell most people this. My parents and my sister, they all knew this. My goal was that at the end of the parade, the very end, before we get on the bus, if there's a family at that parade, that we had enough energy so that family never felt like, oh man, they got to the end and they're tired. I would do something for that particular family at the end. So when I say this, by that time people are recording, we're starting to get to like the YouTube or whatever. And I wanted it to be everybody looked their best. So yeah, we could get, and you could hear the comments. I was watching some videos today and you could hear people say, come on, Coy, come on, Nikela, come on, Shauna. Like you hear people saying these names and it was in a pleasant sound. And that's what you always went for. We never got the writing comments, but I knew that people would let you know, especially picking your knees up. And then being in the back, being the tail, like it's a spotlight on you. So it's a different form these days. And unfortunately, listen, we wear our natural hair more so then than they do now. And this is nothing that's a secret. And it's not to say people don't have hair. It's just a look that they go for. So that back then, I mean, your hair could frizz up. If it's rain, which we had some games, some of my favorite games, it was soaking wet. We had nowhere to hide. There's nothing you could do, makeup running and all of that. But Miss Worthy always told us somebody can always take your picture. So when they take a picture, what do they see? And that's how we just operated. Some things were out of your control, but I mean, you heard it, but we caught it more from the crowd and the fans more so than people hiding behind screens. And I hate they have to deal with that today.
Nikela, we got about 5 more minutes. I hate this part of the show where it gets, the time never stops.
Yes.
So before we go, if Toby done yet got another, I don't have any more questions, but
I got flowers though.
You got to give flowers. That's right. We got to do that.
Flowers,
So,
man.
all right. So go ahead, Toby.
It's gonna be quick.
No, don't be quick. Take up 5 minutes.
So it's a couple of things. Because we've had a couple. Jay says, I remember, I don't remember what year it was, but I think it was the Big Ballin'. And this was the first time I saw Jay says, for me, getting house from the band. Because you guys were always away. We've talked about this for you. I was always away. And then around Thursday night, we would see you guys at practice.
Pop up.
We
We
had pop
love that too, to be able to pop up.
yeah, y'all just popped up. We're like, oh, they here, and like, and in WT, a lot of times y'all came from behind us, so then that was our opportunity to kind of like have conversations, like
Yeah.
1-on-1 or 2-on-10 or whatever it was like. It was just conversation there, but it was rare because like we ain't talking to them because they dirty, and it probably smelled like the football team. But
Y'all didn't smell.
but I remember like seeing like in the stands from up top. Like the first time I think I gave Jay Set's house, I was like, oh, they killing it. And it was when that dance right here, and then it stopped right here. And then everybody in the band started doing it. It's like, oh, that is great. Whatever that is, like we like it, and that probably came right before you, but like it gave me an appreciation for the work that Jay Set's doing. Tonight, I want to give you flowers because what you showed me about you and in your life, and probably the main reason why you're successful in life right now, your will to be perseverant and to fight through any obstacles that are placed in front of you. What would kill any mortal person when you have to deal with judgment on things that you possibly can't even control, or you found ways to control that and to fit in and to keep coming back, because this is something that you desire, this is something that you want, this is something that you want to conquer, and not giving up, because most mortal people like wouldn't go through like 3 times, and that's not weak. That's an internal strength that, you know what, I'm going to conquer this right here, and not giving up and being able to fulfill that promise, and to be able to not only become a JSET, but then become a leader, a captain in the JSET. Like that right there sets you up for life. So yeah, I see you talking about that in a job interview, but being able to conquer that, it like there's nothing in life that you're not able to conquer if you did that. Like when somebody told you no 2 times, oh, you gonna tell me no 3 times, or you gonna tell me no 4 times, and then to go in there and then be a boss in that, like that right there just tells me a lot about you, your character, one, your personality, two, but also just who you are inside. And it says a lot about your family too, because you talked about your mom, you talked about your dad, and them supporting your vision for what your future look like, giving you those different angles. You're like, okay, I'm gonna be, and I understand. I got a daughter and she's a dancer, and it's okay. I gotta go over here and sit by myself and film. But like, yeah, like that's something that I really, really have grown to admire about you just through this interview. So congratulations to the success that you have in life right now. Anything that you put your mind to, what you have taught us and what you've taught our community is that anything that you put your mind to with hard work, dedication, perseverance, you are able to conquer that. So thank you for that. And those are your flowers.
Thank you. I
Flowers.
appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Nikela, so I want to ask you this question, and then we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. Do you have any last parting words? Do you have any shout outs? Anything you want to share? Anybody you want to say, hey, what up? Thank you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Do you have anything that you would like to say before we get
Yes,
out of there?
I do. I really do. I have some people to thank for sure. I really do want to shout out my family because you all, my mom did not live in Jackson, Mississippi when I became a JSET. We are from there, but she moved to Texas, and people thought my mom lived there. So my mom would go back and forth, whether she had to drive, be on the bus, whatever she had to do, she would go back and forth. So my mom was there, my dad was there, my sister was there, to the point where people felt like they knew my family. So I want to say shout out to my family, and they would travel to away games with us. Every single Prince and J set director, from Shirley Blakely to Nara Otis to Catherine Worthy to now even Chloe Crowley. I want to say thank you to you all. Yeah, because the sacrifice that those women have and continue to make, people don't realize the time that they give up for us. And I just want to say, us as in Prince and J sets who have come through their lines, that's like unreal. So thank you. Shout out to the Boom. Y'all don't understand what that's like to be women in front of a machine behind you. Like the level of sisterhood, brotherhood, and the protection down to you not breaking my line. I don't know if people understand that, but I hold that true to this day. So when I say, listen, when I say coming out there to see y'all on Thursday, we could practice in the gym all day, but to feel your energy down to the alumni band and how y'all made us feel for our 50th reunion. I'll say this a million times over. I wanted every alumni J set to feel like, because Danielle, you can understand this, and guys, y'all understand this from the perspective of your wives, and Toby, especially when your daughter gets there. People think we're supposed to look and dance the way that we did 20 years ago. For some people, 30, 40 years ago. Y'all, it's not happening. But I told every alumni J set, your goal is for a moment that you feel, you just remember that feeling. You have that feeling from marching in the stadium and you just feel good on the inside. I don't care what your body looks like. Do you feel good on the inside? And when we came out for halftime, the way the alumni band just whoo and ah at us, I love the fans and we got house, but that means the world coming from y'all. So I want to say thank you to alumni band. Shout out to Carl for running Carl Cunningham for running the alumni band. And then again, Dr. Liddell, Dr. Magruder, to all of the band staff, like those guys, they really looked out for me. I mean, people don't realize it. I caught some of Doc's choice words too. And then we get on the bus and he's like, Miss Gates, good job. And I'm like, I live to see another day. So thank you to that for sure. But I really want to say every single fan, alumni, I know I understand, and you all may understand, especially alumni band members, but to the fans, to show up for the students, it's unreal. And you'll never really understand how much that meant to us and how much that means to follow us to the point where somebody stopped me the other day. I stopped him because I'm like, hey, I know you. You dance for the WNBA team here, the Dallas Wings. And he said, I know you. And I'm thinking, like, he doesn't know me. He said, Nikela Gates. I'm like, what? He was like, you were a J set. I've done all my studying and I know. Shout out to LD for just knowing me. And I'm like, I really don't think people know me and recognize me. And this guy called my whole name, my full name. And I'll say that happens multiple times and I never expect it, but it does happen. And I want to say thank you. And I know I'm going long, but last but not least, I want to say to every J set that I dance with, if I dance beside you, thank you. Because again, freshman year was tough, challenging. You helped to get me through. Sophomore year, I came into my own and I saw some other young ladies come into their own. Aquita Patillo, amazing because, I mean, again, that's who I came in under. But Miss Worthy called me down my sophomore year. And when she called me down, it was always known that that's likely who's to be the captain. I knew then that I could be it. I never accepted until she told me. And once I became captain for my junior year going, and also I was captain my senior year, I knew that at that point in time, things would change for me. And they did. But I want to say thank you to every single J set that danced with me and followed me under my direction. Because as tough as I was on myself, I was on them. And we made some beautiful things happen. And we looked amazing as a squad. But I also know that I really appreciate and just truly adore and love every single person that danced with me because that's a memory that I'll never forget. So thank you, and thank you to y'all too for having me.
Yo, that was amazing. Oh my
That was
goodness.
amazing.
Like we need about 40 more minutes of this. So look, this is what we're gonna do. So thank you, Nikela. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for spending time with us on this evening. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Thank you for your words of encouragement. Like I personally, my own self, I appreciate you. I really,
Yeah.
really appreciate you.
Thank
We work together
you.
with the SBAA, Sunday Boom Alumni Association. We've done some great things, and we got some more great things to do in the future. So we getting out of here, grabbing my pom pom, because this is the sad time of the show, but we gotta
Yeah.
close
If I
out.
could write
Hey.
else, I would.
Wait a minute.
Hey.
Boom, boom, boom. Whoa. You know what? Let me stop. So look, all right, that's it. You know what? Say that. We might have to get you back on here so you can you're gonna rock the house the whole show. All right, so that's it, y'all. Nikela gonna rock the house, y'all. We had Nikela Gates on. Thank you, Nikela. Princeton J says the Princeton J says. We out of here. That's it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time, we out of here. It's your boy Terrell Key, aka T Reezy.
Your girl Danielle, aka Don Yeezy.
It's your boy Toby Johnson, aka Fear Styles.
And our special guest, who are you, ma'am?
Thank you, Nikela Gates. Thank you.
Woohoo! All right, so we out of here. That's it. We gone. Holla. Peace out.
Namaste, guys.
Tiger Talk TV is presented by Bet Online.